Maryland has placed head football coach DJ Durkin on leave as the school continues their investigation into the death of Terrapin offensive lineman Jordan McNair. The 19-year-old collapsed during a May 29th team workout. McNair was hospitalized and died 2 weeks later.
Jordan McNair played for the Maryland Terrapins. ESPN had the full report. McNair, who was 19, died 2 weeks after being hospitalized following a May 29th team workout. Again, at the University of Maryland. He collapsed after running 110-yard sprints, showing signs of extreme exhaustion and difficulty standing upright. No official cause of death has been released, but ESPN reported Friday that he died of heat stroke suffered during the workout and had a body temp of 106. Shortly before his death, while he remained hospitalized, coaches had a team meeting during which, according to sources, players criticized the methods used by Court, who is the strength and head conditioning coach, and also DJ Durkin, former Michigan defensive coordinator and now head coach of Maryland. There were multiple people that said, wow, Jordan looks effed up. He doesn't look all right. We knew he was really exhausted, but we didn't know he was in danger of his life. But that doesn't mean that a medical professional shouldn't know to put him in an ice tub. A former Maryland staff member said, I would never, ever, ever allow my child to be coached there. Here is what Will Muschamp, then, University of South Carolina, had to say about this entire matter and also criticizing journalism. Seriously, take a look.
I know DJ Durkin. He worked for me for 4 years at the University of Florida. He is an outstanding football coach, but he's also an outstanding husband and a father, and he treats people with respect. And I will use your word, alleged article. There's no credibility in anonymous sources. You know, if that former staffer had any guts, why didn't he put his name on that? I think that's gutless. I think it's a lack of journalistic integrity to print things with anonymous sources.
So you have to ask, what does that mean? If a journalist prints something with anonymous sources, finish the sentence. I always say this to people who have declarative statements. Mm-hmm. That means the journalist did what? He made up the source? Finish the thought, Will. You know? Did he make it up? Did he make this whole story up? Did he come up with multiple anonymous sources? Did he come up with multiple sources that said the nature of the practice? Was he there? This journalist that he's mad about? Mm-hmm. So then he observed it himself and then made up sources? Because, I mean, if a journalist observed the kid stumbling around and looking like he wasn't all right, he would have said, and I noticed him stumbling around not looking all right. But he said other folks did. Mm-hmm. So that's an elaborate story just to come after these particular two coaches. Well, not Will, but...
No, but at Maryland, yes.
Durkin.
And DJ Durkin right there.
So, I mean, so you have to finish I understand he's upset because that's his homie, right? Yep. But at the same time, you have to think about how would this fully come together? This would be some kind of conspiracy theory.
Yes, it would be. Let me make this very clear. Journalists are at the apex of being truth tellers. They're the ones that seek out the truth for all of us. They're the ones that put their lives at risk, their livelihood at risk, their financial well-being at risk, their safety at risk. What I hear from head coaches consistently is, well, you're asking dumb questions. You don't know the game. And now it's like that man right there, more like a man-child, Will Muschamp, trying to tell journalists, well, you can't use anonymous sources. That's how stories get broken, Will. How dumbfounded are you on this subject? So we ask dumb questions in pressers, and then we put out dumb articles, and we have no credibility whatsoever because anybody who is risking their own lives just by simply talking to a journalist to expose the damn truth, that's wrong.
By the way, I get the frustration with journalists. I get it, especially from the side of the athlete and coaches and all that stuff, and how they sometimes come at you a certain way. I've always talked about that. But you have to understand, when it comes to something like this, there's a culture that happens with football, especially during training camps and things like that. When there's heat and there's the two-a-days, everyone's been through it and known about it. This isn't the first player to ever die from a practice.
Right, it happened at Northwestern.
There is a way that this happens. It's a culture that happens in football.
Yep.
It has to change.
Will Muschamp, wow. That's all we pretty much have to say.